Hello. I am so glad that you could be here today. This is going to be an experience unlike any other, I promise you that. Before we get going, I do just want to let you know that since this documentary deals with the topic of mental health, it's going to get a bit heavy at times and there's going to be some rough moments. So if you're sensitive to that sort of thing, then I encourage you to watch with a parent or a friend or someone that you can talk to should you feel the need. And if at any point this documentary is too much for you, then maybe turn it off and consult somebody before you continue watching. I also want to give the general disclaimer that nobody in this film is or is claiming to be a trained mental health professional. All the advice that will be given is being spoken purely from experiences and what the people in this film found has helped them in their personal lives. So if you're in need of professional help, that is not us and that is not this film, and we encourage you to go and seek that. What else? Oh, before you start, there's something I need you to do, and this might actually require you to get up and walk away for a second, but I need you to track down 2 pieces of paper and a pen. Please don't use a pencil unless you literally have no other writing utensil. Just try to make it a pen or a marker. And so I'll give you a minute to track that down. Don't be afraid to pause if you need to. Got it? Alright. Now, I need you to close your eyes. And I promise there's no jump scares, there's no funny business. You have my word on that. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to think about your life as it is. And I want you to think about anything that might not be going so well. Any pain or discomfort, even if it's slight, I want you to zero in on. I'll give you a minute. Now open your eyes. Welcome back. Now on one of the pieces of paper you found, I want you to write down everything that you just saw. And I'll give you another minute. That should be good. Now, put the pen and paper to the side, and please do refrain from touching them or scribbling on anything throughout your time here.
On in 5.
And here we go. Showtime.
Just because I
Hi, I'm Serena Rowan. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Maine. Currently, I'm an actress, also working as a wine host, reading, writing a lot. I do a lot of abstract art. I love surprising people by saying I played rugby in college because I'm 5'3" and a small person, so they never believe me, but gave me a lot of confidence.
Hi, my name is Mike Vini. I am from Long Island originally. I'm 40 years old and I have the honor of traveling the world as a speaker. And I'm also a drummer and a writer. One of the things that I love to do is meditation. It allows me to be quiet in my mind for 20 minutes, twice a day. And I'm actually an introvert. I love spending time alone. A lot of people see somebody that's an introvert or a loner as someone to worry about, and no, for me it brings me a lot of joy.
My name is Mars Roberts. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Currently I work as a courier for Uber and Postmates. I also do some work with Ralph Lauren for their production company. Really anything to do that is active, I tend to kind of lean towards. I'm a very naturally energetic person. As an extrovert, I get energy from other people, and so I love talking to people.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Cordero. I'm 24 years old. I live in the Bronx, New York, and I'm a part-time bartender at Red Lobster, and I'm also an actress. I like to pick up new skills. I also like to read a lot of self-help books. I ride a motorcycle. Very proud of that, and I also love to bake. I have this really big guard. I have a very big wall that's out there. Below that, I'm actually a really soft-spoken, very bubbly, energetic person.
People of all sorts, please put your hands together for your host, Alex Dispoto.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is an honor to be speaking to all of you today. My name is Alex Dispoto. I am 21 years old, born and raised in New Jersey. I am a film student at the School of Visual Arts, and believe it or not, I cannot swim and I cannot ride a bike. My parents took me to swimming lessons when I was younger, but when the instructor had to bring out the water toys for the fully grown boy in the pool, we packed up and went home. Now before we get going here, I would like to give a heads up that at several points throughout this film, we will be playing a series of games that you are encouraged to participate in. Let's practice one right now. Raise your hand if you are an audience member watching Werewolves. I'm going to hope that went well. Now, over the course of this film, we will talk about the 5 main areas of mental health and the main factors that contribute to suicide around the world. Buckle up, because I promise you now, this is going to be a very, very bumpy ride. So without further ado, let's get on to the first area.
About 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and it was a long time coming. It was something that I believe I was born with.
For me, it started when I was a young child. Might have been 3-4 years old. What I struggle with is some unique combination of depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder.
When I was 12 years old, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and that's manifested in multiple ways. A big thing is confidence in my physical appearance in my body. So 2 years ago, I had a traumatic situation happen. I decided to stop going to school, moved to Arizona for my brother who had cancer at the moment. I don't know what the reason was, but basically everything went really south and my brother tried to kill me. It was a very traumatic situation, and within the past 2 years, I have been diagnosed with PTSD.
All I remember was having behavior problems because mommy and daddy told me I needed to learn to behave. I needed to stop acting out and stop hitting my little brother.
I'm a naturally energetic person, but with energy comes aggression. So when people say they're passive aggressive, I'm aggressive. And that doesn't mean that I'm violent or angry. It means that I'm exceedingly energetic. When I was living with my mental illness unmedicated, it tended to lean towards the more violent. I got in a lot of fights. I was very angry. I seemed to do damage both mentally and physically to myself and others.
My parents separated when I was 8. Up to that, there's a lot of fighting, a lot of yelling, so it was very clear that they did not have a happy relationship. So I guess I wasn't too surprised when they separated, but that doesn't make it any easier. And just the idea of going from 2 parents in one house to now having 2 houses, always having to choose, you're always stuck in the middle. You kind of have to pick which parent, so I kind of sided with my mom, became very emotionally attached to her. So for a long time I had a very strained relationship with my dad. So I think that was kind of where all the anxiety came from. And then you're still in school, still trying to tell everyone, oh, everything is fine.
Sorry, very sorry. I have to butt in here for just 1 second. I apologize. It won't take long. Do you remember those games I talked about at the beginning of the film? Yeah, it is time to play our first game. Now this is going to require everybody's involvement, both on screen and off. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to pose a question or say a statement, and if that statement applies to you, please raise your hand. Are you ready? Here we go. Raise your hand if you've ever felt sad. Raise your hand if you've ever felt hopeless. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like not getting out of bed. And raise your hand if you've ever wished that a part of your life was in some way different. You see, we all know what it's like to be feeling down or to be having a bad day. Even the happiest of people can relate to those feelings. Those feelings are called emotions, and emotions make us human. But sometimes we have too many bad days, and sometimes that can be a problem. And it is important to be able to identify when that may be the case.
When I first got expelled from school in the 4th grade, I knew that my problems were bigger than I realized. Shortly after that expulsion, I was put in another school and I got expelled within 3 weeks. So I got expelled twice in 4th grade for my behavior.
And I was developing a major homesickness. My dad traveled a lot for work, and beforehand I'd always go with him, but now I could not leave home. I couldn't sleep over at friends, I couldn't go on trips. Body image wise, there was a moment where you look in the mirror and think, what the hell happened? I was trying on a bathing suit that used to fit, and remember just thinking, what did this grow? Because you hear about clothes shrinking in the dryer but never growing, and realizing, no, it didn't grow, I shrank. So that was kind of everything coming together, and you kind of have like one of those awakening moments where you realize everything on top of each other, this isn't normal. So probably shouldn't be going through this, probably need to talk about it.
It's something that I've struggled with because I don't want to be labeled a specific thing, and there's a real stigma behind having some kind of mental disorder. I am a very unique individual person. I fall into these categories. I don't have all of the categories, I have some of them, and so I'm willing to accept that I needed help because I've been labeled this, not something that I am, it's something I have. I realized that I personally needed help when the time was coming, but people had been telling me that this wasn't normal for a really long time.
Instead of seeking help immediately, I just try to go about my day as if it didn't happen. However, I started noticing that it was a problem when people, especially men, would come, especially men that resembled my brother. My brother is my half-brother, and people who resembled him, when they would approach me, I would get really anxious. There was one day where I hung out with my coworkers. I got extremely drunk, way too cross-faded, and the next day I woke up, I could not stand up. That's how hungover I was. So I was crawling around my apartment, getting ready for a job that I had just gotten. I was going to orientation, and I couldn't go through with the day. They were showing us the restaurant, they were taking us on a tour, and I just felt extremely nauseous, and at that point I'm like, I gotta go. And their exact words were, if you leave now, you don't have this job. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't. I feel too sick, I can't do this. And I was extremely disappointed with myself for a long time after that, because I'm not that person. And I realized that after my traumatic event, I was extremely suicidal to a point where I kind of just didn't care about things. I didn't care about paying my bills. I didn't care about living.
If there's a question in your mind that needs to be answered, you should pursue that knowledge. If you read the DSM-5, you're going to diagnose yourself with 100 things and everyone else that you know with 1,000 things. So don't be too critical if you read resources. What I would suggest mainly is talking to your support system and see if they think that your behavior is abhorrent or unnominal.
Try your best not to be in denial. I know it's easier said than done. I was in denial for a little bit of a long time, and I was looking for help in places where I shouldn't have had the help, or I was trying to cope in ways that I know I shouldn't have been coping. So seek friends or family members, someone that loves you, that genuinely loves you and cares about you, that you know you feel safest with, and sit down and talk to them first. If you yourself feels like something's wrong, trust that instinct. Don't let it go so far to a point where you can't come back, or so far to a point where like you're questioning whether or not you're putting your life at risk.
Again, you're allowed to have days where you're just tired, it's all been too much, and you can just be lazy and relax. But if that's becoming a pattern, I'd say that's a big indicator that something's off. Multiple persona, that sounds weird, but you know, when I was at school, I would be very outgoing, and then at home, I'd be very closed off. So kind of if you feel like you're being different people in the same day, you know, do a checklist, see, you know, how am I feeling? Or just ask friends and family, you know, how do I seem? Am I different? Are you concerned?
It's a confusing and frustrating experience that sometimes you're not even aware of, and other people around you discover through your behavior. So if someone in your life is suggesting that you might be struggling with a mental health challenge, whether you feel that way or not, it's important to take a look at it.
A lot of people seem to follow this misconception that you need to be sure of what your diagnosis would be before you go and seek help, and that is simply untrue. You don't wait until you know if you have a cold or the flu or strep throat before going to a doctor, but you have symptoms and you go to a doctor to know what those symptoms mean. And sometimes the doctor will say you have the flu, you have strep throat, but sometimes he'll say, yeah, you don't have any of that. Your nose is clogged to the point you can't breathe, and you have a river running down your face at the same exact time. I don't know how, by the way, your nose can be clogged and also runny, and there's no logical reason behind how any of this is happening. But you're undeniably miserable, and that's all you care about. And regardless of the fact that it might not be diagnosed as this or that, the doctor is still going to give you medicine and help you feel better. Mental health is no different. It doesn't matter what you have. Don't get caught up in the labels. It's a really pretty simple concept. You feel bad, you go to a doctor. Like, how, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Oh.
Hey, I think I have to go to the doctor. I kind of broke my foot.
No, I got this.
You know what you're doing?
Nope.
Well, then maybe we should go to like a doctor.
You wouldn't trust yourself to heal your son's broken foot if you don't have the proper medical training. Mental health is no different. If a friend or family member comes to you and says they aren't feeling so great, you should not take it upon yourself to be their therapist if you have absolutely zero training being a therapist. You should leave that job for a therapist.
I want to share a story about my friend Chris. I was struggling one night. He said, "You want to meet up?" And he might have stayed out with me till about 3 a.m. We were just sitting at a bar, just talking, and he was just listening to me. He wasn't there to give me any advice. He was just there to be with me and listen to me. And that's just what I needed.
When I tell someone something, I'm not asking for advice. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. When I tell someone something, I'm not asking them to comment on what I should do, unless I specifically ask for advice. If I tell someone I'm feeling sad, I don't want someone to say, well, you shouldn't be sad. You should go ride your bike and feel happy. I want them to say, hey, I understand that. That sucks. What can I do to help you? They need to listen, they need to support, they need to be the community that you seek when you're licking your wounds, when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're sad.
A lot of times, friends and family will run right to giving someone advice. And I can tell you from experience that doesn't work. If you love me and you're my friend or family member and you're giving me advice, that's going to shut me down. It's going to make me not want to talk to you. But if you're going to sit there with me and just be with me for the pure sake of being with me, it doesn't matter if you get what I'm going through. I'm going to feel your love.
Just be observant and be honest and vocal. You know, if someone's worrying you, say something. If you're concerned, say something. You can't be expected to give help, but you can be expected to help in the getting of help. Just remember that this is not their fault. This is not something they're choosing to do. This isn't fun for anyone to deal with. So all you can really do is be supportive and remember, you know, this is someone you love and this is just a part of who they are. And some days it will be worse than others. Some days you will forget that they might have like anxiety or depression because they are having a good time and a good day, and other days it might be really hard. So all you can really do is just always say, you know, hey, I'm here, what do you need, what can I do? Don't be judgmental, don't be annoyed, just be patient.
I remember, you know, being in the hospital, the first thing I did was reach out to my mom and my brother, and it made me feel even more alone trying to reach out to them because they never came to visit me. They didn't really call me or reach out to me as much. And then I started questioning, like, well, if my own brother tried to kill me, if he had an issue with me, does like my mom hate me? Does my other brother hate me? And then it turned into, well, if they don't love me, if my own mom doesn't love me, why should I even love myself? Why should I even bother being alive?
I wish my friends and family would have better educated themselves. Signs and symptoms, how to respond to someone who's struggling. I think just putting their attention there would have not only helped me, but I think it would have helped them, because in that process, you end up discovering so much about yourself and so much about the people that you love.
I wish that my mom or brother would have came to visit me immediately, or had bought me a plane ticket or something to show me that I wasn't alone. It's very important to, especially someone who went through a traumatic episode. Mine was with my brother. There's veterans, you know, there's other people with PTSD stories. Be there for them and be very patient and just try to create a safe environment for them. Encourage them to open up, but at their own time, at their own pace, and just prove to them, genuinely prove to them that your intentions are good, you're genuine, you're being honest. And if you can't be that person, then just explain to them that you can't and just like go away.
To all the parents out there, I understand that when you have a child, you feel this overwhelming responsibility to be the ultimate caretaker for that child and to do everything for them that you can. And sometimes that can lead you to thinking you can do more and handle more than you're actually capable of. If your son or daughter comes to you feeling very, very upset, I understand that you feel it's your job to talk them through it. And you should be there to listen. But next time your son or daughter walks into the kitchen and says that they're not feeling too great and might need to talk to somebody, and you think that you could be their therapist or psychiatrist or psychologist, even though you have no training or experience or education whatsoever in any of that, and you have no idea what the hell you're doing, just think about this. Your call. But not everything is fun in games or something to smile at. Sometimes things get hard. Really hard. Unbearably hard. Everything you are about to see is 100% real. And we live it every day.
Woke up feeling numb inside.
I've been in bed all day, in physical pain, shaking.
I'll have a really great day before and then wake up and feel like crap and is thinking what happened.
I've lashed out on family members and friends.
There's a hostile environment, I'm going to act like I don't feel safe, and I'm going to act very hostile. And it becomes very inappropriate, like at work.
I'm in the middle of making myself a smoothie, and this girl runs into the bar, continues to pour out my smoothie ingredients, And then I looked at her and I was like, I needed that. And she's like, oh, well, you already said no. You need to be faster. Da-da-da-da.
I hurt myself almost every single day. Cut my finger open while juggling a knife while rehearsing my lines.
She will not leave my bar. She will not get out of that doorway. I am getting hostile because I feel like she is creating a hostile environment for me. And I feel like I'm stuck. So now my PTSD kicked in. Get the fuck out of my bar. Get the fuck out of my bar. If you have a fucking problem, you will see me after work. Get the fuck out of my bar.
I just found out that I got the biggest part that I've ever gotten. And I am just so excited. I freaking am about to lose my mind. I just want to go run around and scream. And I'm never going to be able to go to sleep now.
Like if you had epilepsy, if you had diabetes, if you had cancer, you can't really make fun of someone or judge someone for that because they're not choosing to go through it. They can't just get over it. This is something that's going to affect them for the rest of their life.
It shouldn't have escalated that far. It should not. But like I said, I needed help. I felt like I was in danger and I felt like I was being threatened, and afterwards I went into like a little spiral of like, what the fuck? You did it again. Why did you do this? Like, why? And this is why sometimes having PTSD is what gets me really fucking angry, because
So I was driving home and I just started to feel really bad, and I was with a friend, and I seemed to piss her off about something. I don't know what I did, but it just seems like no matter how hard I try, I can't do the right thing. And I'm just trying really hard. And I called some friends and no one was awake, so I called my mom, and she's gonna come and pick me up because I didn't want to drive like this. So feel bad.
What do you feel bad? You just mean you feel bad in general?
No, like about, like I don't know what I did. But I feel like always, I don't know. Like I could always say something better or do something better. Like I don't think I'm ever good enough.
You don't. Nobody expects you to be perfect, honey.
I don't care if I'm perfect, but I just want to be enough.
You never truly know what anyone is going through. Underneath all the smiles and laughter and false happiness often lies something much worse. An unbearable pain that if you don't face yourself, you couldn't even begin to imagine. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia, and I have a very real hatred for myself as a human being. I'm alone all the time. Even when I'm with friends and family, or out on the sidewalk and walking in a crowd, I am constantly alone. It might not be obvious, you might not be able to tell, but I promise you that despite what it looks like, what I just said is the truth. Looks can be dangerously deceiving.
And some things that like I don't want to talk about are just really getting to me. And there are things that like only I talk about with Rachel and I want to keep it that way. But like it's really hard. And it's And I feel like evil for it, and I don't know what to do about it. I just feel guilty. I don't want to die, but I just also just don't want to live through this. Like, this is just really bad. It's just really hard. It's just really hard. And I just don't know.
Now let's play another game. And this time it's going to be something a little bit different. I'm going to give you a simple math equation. And it's going to be up to you to figure out the answer. This is no trick question. It's no 1 + 1 = window thing from 3rd grade. It is a legitimate mathematical equation with a legitimate mathematical answer. You have my word. You will have 30 seconds to solve. Your time starts now. Thumbs up. Now, before I tell you the answer that I'm sure you are all dying to know, we're going to go on to the second game. In this one, I'm going to show you several different people, only one of which has a diagnosed mental illness. It is up to you to figure out which one it is. You again will have 30 seconds. Your time starts now. Time's up again. Now, let's review our answers. So let's go back to the first question, which was 2 + 2 = blank. And the answer, it's a little stupid because you know what the answer is. And that was dumb. You know, let's skip that question. I don't need to tell you the answer to 2 + 2. You already know it. It's obvious. That was dumb. Let's just go on to the second one. So the second one, I showed you several different people, and I told you that one of them has a diagnosed mental illness. These were your choices, and the correct answer is... Okay. Actually, no, wait. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm a mess. People say all the time that it's so obvious, like, that, you know, if someone has mental illness, that, like, they'd be able to tell. And that it's so I'm sorry, I forgot how obvious these answers were according to everybody. So I'm sorry. You know what 2 + 2 is, and I guess, you know, according to most people, then you know what the answer is because you said that you'd be able to tell, you know, who has a mental illness. I'm sorry. They're obvious answers, stupid questions. I'm sorry. That was a waste of screen time. Let's just move on. Hello, Alex. I hope you don't mind. So, after I watched your latest YouTube video about werewolves, I was instantly encouraged by it, just like I was encouraged by white lights. I'm encouraged to tell the truth and face my problems. I know this is so important to you, and I see how much passion you have for it, and what I feel for myself is also important and can be life-changing, if you say so. You probably know a few things about me already, but I will tell you more and be honest, because I realize that if I want my life to change for the better, I need to do it and be out of my comfort zone. My economy is in the middle class. My parents don't do much. There's only my stepfather who works, and her income is helped by my grandma, which she also got from her other son. It's all good and decent, but no one knows this, and I never said it out loud to anyone. not even myself. A statement that labeled me as a sinner and ended me as an outcast. A parent's nightmare. If people found out that I have same-sex interests. I'm probably bi. I don't know. This is affecting me, especially knowing my religion. I hate myself so much for this. It's the worst. I have a crush who doesn't know it. Later on, we leave each other. Our relationship is a mess because I never tell the truth. I might tell them how life is hard, like with anxiety and other stuff, but it doesn't help. And I realized that what was scaring me is our relationship. My biggest fear is if my only true friend knows the real me and how I feel and for that reason will leave me. And them being more religious than me doesn't help it. I'm scared. Now my anxiety is less. Back then I would have never believed I could do this much. It's still there, but it's not the worst. My friend is still coming to my mind every day. How can I not? I even pray for their well-being in my prayers. And about my sexuality, I distance myself from people. It's not rare to see me walking or being alone. I know how dumb it is, but at the same time it's messing me up so much, so I was thinking a lot about talking to a psychologist. But long story short, in the end I never do it. I disliked my school psychologist because they talked about LGBT+, and I'm just afraid that if I do that, I will be more alone than I already am. I need an escape route, or else the pain will seek it. I walk by myself for hours. I get in public transportation not knowing where I'm going and get myself lost. I play with hair. I play with razors. I play with pills. Blocking my thoughts to the extent that I leave my phone and money, forget about my studies and my family. I pray to God only to be back again doing the wrong things to make myself forget. I hope people, especially from my country, can be more accepting. At least to just understand, like how I understand that people don't support it, it doesn't mean people can't still be nice. Like you said, I also believe I'm not alone. I want to continue my story, but it'll be forever. I don't know what your thoughts are about this stranger, but you seem like a nice guy. Thank you for what you're doing. I hope your project will be big. And as for your well-being, I hope you find peace. Now, you'll never know who wrote that letter. I'll never say. So next time you're in the supermarket checking out with that cashier who always seems to have a bit of an attitude, or at the bus stop with that old man who always seems lost and is holding everyone up, just think to yourself before you act out, before you get mad and angry, what if they wrote that letter? I know. The chances are slim. But what if? You don't know. It's possible. You just proved to yourself a couple minutes ago that you can't tell who has a mental illness to save the world. Literally, if the earth was like about to blow up and their only hope of saving it was you figuring out who has a mental illness and who doesn't, we would all die. The point is, you never know what people are going through. So just be nice. Don't spread hate and toxicity and all that garbage. Just spread love. Be kind. That's what we need more of. Because you never know what people are going through, and you never know how your reaction and what you say could affect them. You never know what you could push them to do. And to the people who are suffering right now, who feel like the end of the world is around every corner, and everything they do is wrong, you don't have to feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. Raise your hand if in regards to physical health, you have ever been sick. Raise your hand if you've ever gone to a doctor because you were sick. Raise your hand if you've ever taken medicine such as Advil or cough drops to help with your sickness. Raise your hand if you believe that medicine such as Advil or cough drops should only be used by people who are too weak to get better without them. We've all been sick at one point or another. We all know what it's like to have a headache or a cold, and one of those random nose-clogging events that has no name or reason for being. And we all know and accept medicine and treatment as a means of feeling better in those instances. I'm not just going to say mental health is no different. Instead, I want you to tell me how the hell is mental health different?
Treatment is all about a cocktail of things that work for you. It's not ever one thing. A lot of people think, oh, if I just get on a certain medication, it's going to make things better. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm constantly trying different treatments. Now, let's just say I get to a point where I feel something's not effective. I'm going to try something else. And I believe that it's important to embrace it like that and realize that it's a process, not a destination.
I self-medicated for a really long time. I thought that if I was able to work out long enough, or drink enough, or eat enough, or smoke enough, that I could fix myself. That's just not possible.
I was smoking all the time in order to just not feel depressed, and it worked temporarily. I was drinking all the time in order to not feel my emotions, and it worked temporarily. I think I popped pills a couple of times. But all of this was to avoid nightmares, to avoid the way I was feeling, to avoid the situation. The problem with that is that when you avoid the situation, it's avoided temporarily, and then when you face it, it's a lot worse. So I chose to start facing everything. I went to a therapist, and I just admitted to a therapist, like, hey, this is what happened, and I know I need help. It helped to get told that the way that I'm feeling is okay, but this is how we can work on making sure that you get calmer quicker.
My dad's first instinct was to get me into therapy, which kind of, as a 13-year-old, and I mean, to anyone this can be silly, you know, just like, why am I talking to you about my problems? Like, I either know them or I don't. And now, fast forward about 10 years, I'm still going back to therapy, and it has helped a lot.
It makes me feel better and more relieved when I actually speak about my issues. And to be honest, like, I do forgive the whole situation at hand with my brother. So that's more relieving now too, knowing that I can cope with it, and now I can go on with my life.
It's made me smile, and this past year, for the first time in my life, I used the H word, happy. There have been a few times where I think I felt happy. It feels good to say that.
One thing that I was definitely taught was I need a mental day. If I feel like too much is too much, I take a mental day. Your mental health is the most important thing in the world. And your employers don't care about your mental health. It's you that you have to take care of first. All of this can wait.
I really am strongly for medication. It made me still be who I am, but on a more stable level. And it's actually saved my life. I really, truly believe that if I hadn't have taken the medication when I did, I might not be here. It's not a crutch. It's actually like a pair of shoes. It just helps you walk and talk and run and play.
At first, I used to think that I'm trying my best to be a strong person. I don't need help. Asking for help will make me weak. And then I realized that no, asking for help is going to make you the strongest, bravest person in the world. You're admitting to your problems. You're admitting that you're aware of what's going on, and you're admitting that you want to get yourself better.
If you are dead set on believing that therapy's not going to work, and medication or whatever it is, fill in the blank, I want you to ask yourself, how well has dealing with it yourself worked for you?
What's the worst thing that can happen if you do seek this treatment? That's what I can say. You can always stop doing something if it's not right for you. Why would you not give it a try?
It's not uniform. Again, therapy isn't what's good for everyone. Medication isn't what's going to work for everyone, but you can't know that until you try it. I've never gone bungee jumping, and I'm terrified of it. So because of that fear, I don't want to do it. But that fear might be keeping me from having the best experience of my life. And I will never know that until I choose to do it.
Try your best to seek help as fast as possible because it's a necessity. I think you need it.
If you had a time machine, I don't know where you got it, but it's in your backyard and you have a time machine, and you gave an offer to someone with mental illness to step foot in that time machine and go back years and years and erase their mental illness from their life, you might expect many people to take you up on that offer. Some people might. Maybe even most people might. I don't know. But personally, I wouldn't give this up for anything. Now don't get me wrong. Mental health is not pretty. It is ugly and it is painful. And it is a serious, serious, serious problem. But my depression and anxiety and experiences with mental health have allowed me to make this film. And I view them as one hell of a gift. Because without the struggles that I went through, I wouldn't be able to be helping people like I am right now. And if I reach just one person who needed to hear the right thing, and if I just save one life, that will make every painful, excruciating moment in my entire life 100,000% worth it. And you couldn't pay me any amount of money or give me any incentive in the world to step foot in that time machine. I'd rather blow the damn thing up. Now, if you would step foot in that time machine before I put a C4 on it and blow it to hell, that's okay. Okay, I understand that. I don't expect everybody to feel this way. But even then, it's important to realize that this is all BS, okay? And there is no time machine. And your mental illness is gonna be with you for the rest of your life. You can go to treatment and you will feel better, but it's still a part of you. It still led you to become the person that you are. And as long as it's a part of you, I encourage you to view the ways that maybe it could be a positive.
I never thought that mental illness could be a positive. I guess it's given me a lot of insight into patience and self-acceptance, and I never would have gotten into acting if it weren't for this, probably, because I got into it to kind of escape. With acting, you can be someone else, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to escape the fact that my parents were divorced and I was going through all this. So had that not happened, I don't know if I ever would have taken an interest in theater and the arts. So backstage is where I get a lot of acting stuff. So I open every job I'm emailed. Then I like to read what it's about. Is this something I'm interested in / would I do it? I really, really love horror films. You can tell that or not because I'm going to start working at a haunted house. We're going to play a new game today. I just love everything that goes into them because it is so different on set than what you see. So I love the transformation of the filmmaking. Also anything with the message, anything that basically no one's done before. So the kit for a good self-tape really helps to have a tripod. So you can just put your phone in here, put the camera on. Some of them are just like introduce yourself, fun fact. So normally those I just do like this, unless they specifically say, do full body.
See you at New York Zipline, and it is time for me to scare up some more business.
If you have to read a script, I usually do one that I know is going to be bad, just getting used to it. So like I'll have the script next to me and just get used to being on the camera, then kind of figure out like who am I talking to, where is everyone.
I would definitely say that my mental health made me stronger. Before I didn't know how to use a gun, now I know how to use a gun. Now I know how to protect myself. I also picked up kickboxing. I suck at it. I definitely suck at it, but it's like the effort of knowing like, okay, well, I know how to defend myself just in case there's a situation. I also started paying more attention to my health.
So yesterday I attempted to start a keto diet. To be honest, I don't know anything about it. And then I also attempted to start intermittent fasting.
Looking at recipes for keto. I already printed a couple of things this morning. When I eat healthier, when I work out, it makes me feel better mentally. And that's helped me a lot. Like I've been very happy lately, like especially working out. It releases a lot of endorphins, which is just good for my body.
Through having my mental health challenges, I discovered drumming. I love drumming. I started drumming actually in 5th grade. I'll never forget taking a drumstick, hitting a drum, and feeling what that felt like. It went through my whole body. I just felt this warmth, this power. In many ways, drumming was a form of medication for me. And, with that, I got to study it and continue to learn and improve my skills and eventually became a professional drummer. These are all my drums. This is one of my drum sets. I have a vintage drum set up here, several others down here. I collect a lot of drums. And we have boxes over there of small percussion. And actually, there's a few boxes that are out right now, so we have more coming in. Being a motivational speaker around mental health. And I wouldn't have been able to speak about mental health had I not have had mental health challenges. And I'm grateful for that.
And it is my great privilege to introduce Mike Feeney.
How's it going? I'm excited to be here. This is my first time speaking in New Hampshire. I like that I get to take the challenges that I've been struggling with, that I battle with every single day, and I get to share that with the world, but also talk about the positives. I look at the faces in the audience, and I never know who I'm impacting. You know, I get laughter, tears, lots of hugs at the end.
Do I have PTSD? Can you be my friend?
I can absolutely be your friend. I do friendship too, yes. I got an email this past year from a young lady. She said in the email, you came to my high school and spoke about mental health. And she said that I've been 8 months clean from self-harm. And that just brought me so much joy. Self-harm was something that I struggled with, and I believe can become an addiction for many people, actually. And to know that something I said on that stage helped her, motivated her to become clean from self-harm, it's powerful stuff.
So when I was little, I used to really love magic. I still love magic, but I wanted to be able to do one cool card trick. So because of who I am, I constantly have to be doing something. I have 1,000 little tricks that I've been able to do because I have this disorder. And so this was something that somebody taught me, and I had to start by going like this. And then I was able to go to right here, and then I was able to go to right there, and now I'm able to go all the way to up there. So from the time that I was a little boy, I always loved knives. And there's actually a story of me walking around with like a butcher knife when I was 2 years old. And I don't know what got me started juggling knives, but it was something that I probably was playing the drums when I was little, and I started doing it with a knife because I loved them. And that's how I started to learn how to do this. And I can do this with any kind of knife. This knife is actually my favorite knife to do it with because it's so big. Don't try this at home. And I've got lots of different knives that it looks different with. I don't know why I learned how to do it, but basically it just scares people. You do it and they just laugh and they think you're crazy. It doesn't hurt that bad. The fact that I've been able to do these things my entire life has made me incredibly happy. Even though I've cut myself more times than I can count, I still love doing it. It's painful. It's painful to have bipolar, but it's also super rewarding. I'm very proud.
If you've lost all hope, my heart goes out to you. I've been there. I was 10 years old, and I had lost all hope. And I just wanted the pain to go away. I didn't care about, thinking positive or whatever. I just wanted the pain to go away. And I had a solution. I went home from school and I went into the medicine cabinet and took all my pills and tried to end my life. And my mom found me and rushed me to the hospital to get my stomach pumped to save my life. I know what it's like to feel hopeless. It's real. What you're feeling is real. And I promise you, it's also temporary. It's not forever. It feels like forever, but I promise you it's not forever. And I really wish someone would have told me that when I was 10 years old and attempted to die by suicide because I had no hope.
Good. Hey, Alex, it's me. It's you.
My mental health challenges have helped me discover me.
It's helped me become strong, it's helped me become accepting, it's helped me become understanding.
I feel like I'm blessed because now I'm cherishing every moment. Now I'm living a lot more than I was before.
I've learned to embrace these challenges as a unique part of me. Dare I say I might feel sexy because of my mental health challenges. They make me me.
A little less than a week ago, you were in a very bad place. But I want to talk to you now because you're feeling a lot better.
Like for a long time, I didn't think it would get better. It does. It just takes time. You need to have the patience. You really do.
I'm here. I am so happy today. And it's funny because every single birthday that I've had, I've been so depressed.
I have been there where you think this is never gonna change, you're never gonna feel better. Remember that this has happened before and you've gotten out of
A
it.
few days ago, if you told me that I would feel okay right now, I wouldn't have believed you, and yet here we are.
I was blessed with the second chance in life. So take it as a blessing. Don't take it as a burden.
You can either look at something in a way that's dragging you down or look at it in a way that's adding something to your life and boosting you up.
For the first time in a while, the smiles that I'm doing right now, they're actually kind of real.
I promise you that you matter, and it's worth it to live another day.
Trust in yourself, you are enough. Cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are enough. Cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are enough. Cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are.
My name is Mike.
My name is Serena Roan.
My name is Jocelyn Cordero.
I'm Mars Roberts.
My name is Alex Dispoto.
And I'm a werewolf.
And I am proud to be a werewolf.
And I'm proud to be a werewolf.
And I value being a werewolf.
And I am grateful to be a werewolf.
Whoa, boy, that was a lot. But we made it. We made it to the end, and I'm proud of you. But before I let you go, there's one more thing that I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to find those 2 pieces of paper and the pen from the beginning of the film. And again, I'm going to need you to now close your eyes. Now, think into the future, months, years from now, and think about where you want to be. Who do you want to be with? Where would you like to be living? Picture your ideal perfect future? I'll give you a minute. Now open your eyes. And on the second sheet of paper in front of you, the blank one, I want you to write down everything you just saw in as much detail as you can. Take a minute. Good. Now in front of you, you have two sheets of paper. One of them, written on it, is your general pain and discomfort. On the other is a message of hope for the future. One of the two sheets has to go. The choice is entirely yours, and don't do anything yet. But when I count down from 3, you are going to rip, crumple, or otherwise destroy one of the two sheets. The one that you choose to spare, you must carry with you in your wallet or bag, or whatever works, with you at all times. I don't recommend the pocket because washing machines are a thing and that can happen from time to time, but whatever works. Now, when I count down from 3 and when I reach 1, you are going to destroy one of the two sheets. You can either throw away all hopes of a perfect future, or you can just finally be rid of the restraint that your pain and misery has been putting on you for the past years or months. And you can be free. But again, the choice is entirely 100% yours to make. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now, if I had any money to bet, I'd bet that you chose to spare your future. And that's an important realization. But the more important one is to realize that today wasn't the first time that you made that choice. You chose hope over pain every day leading up to this moment. And you being here watching this is proof of that. That no matter how bad the pain got, hope in one way or another has always been stronger and has always overcome it. And I want you to remember the choice that you made today and the choice that you've made every day before now. And if you made it once, you can make it again. Because you have the strength and you have the determination to keep going. Do not give up. I don't care how hard things get or how painful things get. Because I'm pretty sure that we all know that we've gone through our fair share of crap before watching this film. In the years past, we've gone through some things. We all have. But we are all still here. And those of us that aren't, may they rest in peace. But we don't need to add to that number. Too many people have lost their lives and have given up because they didn't hear the right thing. And because they didn't hear the right thing, they chose pain over hope. Never forget the choice you just made. And if you are ever in the position where you feel like giving up and throwing in that towel, I want you to take out that piece of paper and read everything that you would be giving up if you were to give up. And I want you to remember this choice. Because if you made it once, there is no reason in this world that you cannot make it again. I believe in you. I know you're strong enough to do this, and you know that you are too. And we're all in this together. We are a team. We are werewolves together. Now I want you all to take out your phones and add 2 numbers to your contacts. The first number is 1-800-273-8255. This is a number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you are ever contemplating suicide or self-harm, you call this number immediately. Now the other number is 201-953-5193. That is my personal cell phone. I want to make it very, very clear that if you are ever considering self-harm or suicide, you don't call me, you call 911 or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or a loved one who can get to you ASAP. You don't call me in that moment. But if you need someone to talk to, that's not necessarily professional help, but just an outsider that will lend a listening ear, then you can call or text me at any time of the day or night, and I will do my best to answer. And if I miss your call or your text, I swear to God I will call you and text you back as soon as I possibly can. Because I care so much about you. And I am here for you, and it pains me to see so many people going through what I went through, minus the support of their friends and family. I was lucky enough to have that, and that's why I am still here today. So if you don't have a loved one in your life that cares enough to support you along this journey, I do. And you can call or text me anytime you need me. I am always here for you, and I truly love you so very much. And if I have to leave you with one thing tonight, let it be this. Never doubt your strength, and never give up on what could be.
Chest tight, closed eyes, don't know if I can put up this fight. But I know, yeah, I know, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine. 'Cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are enough. 'Cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are enough. New day, things haven't changed, but you're here today. You found a better day. You'll be okay. 'Cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are enough. 'Cause
My name's Sean Rose. I'm filmmaker like Alex here who's presenting this documentary to you. I've been suffering from depression for over 20 years, post-traumatic stress disorder, and anxiety. I'm very, very proud to be a werewolf.
Gets back up, 'cause anyone who falls down gets back up. Trust in yourself, you are enough. Trust in yourself, you are enough.
One more thing. I understand that for people who don't go through mental health issues, that you don't really understand what it's like. And that's completely fair. And it's a very hard thing to get you to understand that. And it might seem foolish, but let me try while I have your attention just for 1 second to make you understand. When you have a mental illness, it's very much a roller coaster of emotions. For me, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I smile, sometimes I laugh. But more than that, I'm crying or I'm sad or I'm frowning. Does that sound at all familiar to you? Because I'm pretty sure that over the past hour or so, you most likely had a very similar experience. Sometimes you were laughing, sometimes you weren't. Now magnify that by 10, 20, 100, and then picture that being every moment of every day of your life until the day you die. And that is what mental illness is like.